I'm Marguerite Rigoglioso of Seven Sisters Mystery School, and I'm here to talk about the fairies, also known as the Fae, who they are, why they're calling us at this time, and why I am offering a new class about them. So with this, all of my Ph.D. colleagues and cronies are probably thinking, okay, she's totally gone off the deep end. The fairies, really? I put this post out on one of the shamanism groups and got a really nasty response of somebody who was taking snipes. And I see we have some fairy people already joining. I'm glad to see you as I'm filming this live on Facebook. So why am I talking about the fairies now? I've been talking a lot about female oracles. I've been talking a lot about divine birth, the world of women's spirituality, goddesses, all this type of thing. Why the fairies? Well, I really did not think that this was going to become an area of interest or teaching for me, but over the years, several things started to happen. One is I became really curious about what is this thing regarding the fairies? Who are the Fae? I went to Findhorn. I started learning about the devas, the plant devas, and that sort of thing. And then I started having some of these fairy Fae gnomes appear in my dreams. And I'm aware of plant medicine and the connection between fairies and plant medicine. And over the years, another major thing that started to happen was I started having clients that I would take one look at them and I'd say, have you ever had any connection or interest in the fairies? And they would say, yes, as a child, I had a fairy friend, or I was born with pointy ears, or I've always had a connection to the fairies. I know they're real. And over time, I started realizing these people actually were part fairy. And at this time, during this time, one of my students, Megan Rose Wooliver, who was doing her, she's doing her Ph.D. on human spirit marriage, was talking about the fairies as well. And I started learning about the changeling lore, which is all about how fairy beings can swap humans and put fairies in their stead, and then human beings will raise fairies, or this type of thing, the swapping. And suddenly, as time went on and I started looking in my oracle space, I realized, okay, there's a phenomenon here whereby people are being born as human fairy hybrids. Okay, this is serious business. And what is this all about? Why? Who are these people? What is fairy DNA? Well, the fairies are an interdimensional race. They are on the other side of the veil. They occupy the same place as we do on human Earth, on planet Earth, but a different dimension. They're already in the fifth dimension, which is why they're largely unseen by the untrained eye or the unawakened consciousness. But they are there, poised and ready to go into sixth dimensional consciousness, and they are waiting because they're connected to us through some kind of karmic ball and chain for us to move into fifth dimensional consciousness. So they're very eager for us to awaken. And also, every time humans decimate nature, we destroy the habitat of the fairies, and with that, destroy many, many fairies. So this thing about the fairies, the name alone has been given such a bum rap. Fairy tales, airy fairy, right? It's got all these negative connotations. Why is that? Well, that's deliberate, because this realm has been purposely veiled from us. These are our closest allies on the other plane, on the inner dimensions. They're right here with us, and yet they've been totally obscured, of course, for reasons, because of the negative overlords of the planet and so forth and so on. But many people have always maintained their connection to the Fae. They're waking up, and what's been happening is they have been interbreeding with humans, literally coming in with fairy DNA, like almost parachuting in. Okay, I'm going in, I'm going in. I'm going to go into the human realm. I'm going to try to get myself to wake up, and then I'm going to remember who I am, and then I'm going to try to get humanity to wake up. This is what's happening. We have these human fairy hybrids all around. When I started putting out these blog posts about this topic, literally hundreds of people started writing in. I totally resonate. I think I'm a human fairy hybrid, etc., etc., etc. So I knew that over time I was going to be doing this course, and the time is now. One of the things that really provoked it was I have a black thumb. Okay, some people have a green thumb, I have a black thumb. Plants have historically died under my aegis, you know. So I decided when I started getting more into self-love, I was going to reform my ways with plants, because in ceremony I was shown how you treat your plants and the condition of your plants is a statement or an indication of your self-love and your self-care. When I looked at my plants, they were totally pathetic, and I thought, okay, this needs to change. This needs to change. So I would do little things like, a few years ago, I had a boyfriend repot things, and that didn't really do so much. This past summer, I had my family come. They repotted things, and they got, went to Sloat, and the woman told us what to do with the various potions and to put in the plants. All right, that sort of started helping, but still, some of my plants were languishing. The peace plant and the orchids. The orchids, forget about it. Instant death under my hands. So I said, all right. There was a woman, a friend of mine, her mother said, she's British, she says, oh, well, I talk to them and I touch them. I smooth their leaves. And I thought, okay, whatever. And do I even have time for this? I know that intellectually people have said there's been studies, talk to plants, da da da. All right, so I decided, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to start talking to these plants. That was when the peace plant started thriving. All of a sudden, it started looking like a healthy, normal plant. It stopped having the little edges that were creeping with brown. And my orchids started growing not only leaves, but look at this, flowers, okay? Unbelievable. And this orchid was, the one that was under total duress. I thought, this one's I don't know if it's gonna make it. It kept losing its leaves. I started talking to it a few weeks ago, and now look, a new leaf. Okay, this thing had languished for a couple of years, at least a year like this, okay? Despite the orchid food, whatever. No, it was when I started talking to them that these things started blooming. So this was showing me, okay, this is all connected to the fairies and the fae realms. Now, there's a few things going on here, and this is what I'm going to talk about. See, somebody's writing in, Nora. Her grandmother, her elderly aunt, speaks to them every day as if they're her children. She's never had kids, and the orchids flourish with her mothering. Yes, indeed, okay? I've never had kids either. Now, here I am, a mother. All right, look, they're blooming. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, they're having kids all over the place. They're so excited. So I know this is all connected with the fairy world, and I know that more importantly, this is connected with human ascension, or what we could call human ascension, right? We are moving into higher dimensional consciousness. We're moving into an appreciation of our light body, okay? And the fairies are intimately involved with this. Now, who are the fairies? There are many different races. Some beings that have been associated with fairies are not even fairies, but we're lumping them all in together. They're actually ETs or other types of dimensional beings, or whatever, the Kraken, okay? And so this is part of what we're going to be looking at and sorting out in my new class called Awakening to Our Fairy Kin. I just announced this, and it's going to be 4 Thursdays in March, starting March 8th and going 4 online, 10 to 11:30 Pacific. Each Thursday, you can either watch live or listen later. And then for those who are in the Bay Area or who want to come to the San Francisco Bay Area, there's going to be an in-person day-long event in the East Bay, led by April Aronoff, beautiful rose and bee priestess in her wonderful bee garden. The bees just came in and inhabited a few months ago. And Laura McCarley Torkelson, who is a tree whisperer, essentially, who knows all about the trees and the connection to the fairies. And we're going to be out doing that work there. So, okay, so Bonita York, you're going to start talking about your orchids. Yes, let me know, because this is really important. Kelly is saying, shamans invoke the Fae. I've been able to have access for many years, but I knew I was, so that is key. Yes, okay. Now, so what's happened? Well, after all this fairy work and whatnot, I went to Lazarus, Jack Purcell, Channels of Being named Lazarus, and there was a whole weekend on this. I went to one day. This is a year ago or so. And of course, it was so moving. Everyone was weeping. He had us, connect with the Fae. And in the midst of this, I said to higher guidance, well, am I related? I mean, am I fairy kin? And they said, well, nobody who knows as much about the fairies as you do or has figured it out is not a fairy hybrid. So I thought, oh my gosh. And my name, Marguerite Rigoglioso means flowering or blooming, and it's often, almost always exclusively in Italian, used to describe rigorous plant life. Marguerite is a daisy. So my name technically means blooming daisy. Hello, clues, right? Parents unconsciously are acting, they don't really know what their input is, but there we are. So I'm doing this course, Awakening to Our Fairy Kin. After the video, under the video, I'm going to be putting the link for it. What is this course all about? Most of all, this is going to be a place where anybody who's curious about the fairies, who wants to know more, or who feels you're a human fairy hybrid, and I'll talk about the indications that you are one soon, can come together. Another forum for us to come together. And I'm going to do some teaching, some sharing, some oracle work around this, but we're also going to have time in class and on the private Facebook page to share, because this is really, really important. We are being called to piece together the information. No one human being has all the fairy knowledge. Everybody has a piece. And when I've been talking to clients and friends about this who are connected with the Fae in any way, they all have their stories, and I'm saying, God, that story is gold. You need to share that story, and that's what we're going to do, because we are putting together the pieces of the puzzle of who the Fae are, who they're not, and how they're related, because the Fae are really connected to a lot of other extraterrestrials, sometimes in a positive way and sometimes not in a positive way. Because here's the typical profile of a human fairy hybrid, okay? First of all, you may look like, hello, Hollywood, get me a fairy. A lot of people literally have been born with pointy ears. Okay, I just worked with a young woman out in the forest 2 weekends ago, born with pointy ears. You have that look about you like the Fae from the British Isles. These are the ones that I most recognize, but I want to make it clear they're all over the earth. They're called different things in different places. In the Dagara tradition, I believe they're called the Wedeme, okay? Different names, different places, and they may even have slightly different looks or races as well, depending on where on the planet, but they're all related, okay? So yeah, somebody, Bonita, is saying that she, more than 20 years ago, she physically saw a fairy come out of a tree and fly around it. Yeah, people who are gifted with the sight can see this. Okay, and this is serious stuff. This is a part of the shamanic realm. So whoever was laughing at me on Shaman's Portal, hello, go do a medicine journey and call me in the morning, right? Take 2 mushrooms and call me in the morning is my RX for your rabid criticism of this realm, because there's something here that we all need to know. Why are they calling us? I'm going to explain that in a moment, but more about human fairy hybrids. Okay. Oftentimes, you were either sickly as a child or you have some kind of congenital defect. It could be anything, all right? Sometimes there's something wrong with your feet. Sometimes you just don't feel at home in your body. Sometimes, it can be any number of things. Oftentimes you're out of your body half the time because you don't feel safe in your body. A lot of times you come into family lines with a lot of sexual abuse. That is another characteristic of the Fae. And also sometimes ET abduction. A lot of these folks, well, I start talking, and what happens? Oh, I used to have this recurring dream where I was sucked out of my bed. I used to have this recurring dream where a train was encircling our house every night, and I was terrified. Hello, these are signs of abduction. So a lot of fairies go, they're like ninjas. They're like, we're going in, we're going in, we're going into the worst thing, and we're going to like open this thing up and turn this ship around. There's more characteristics that I'll talk about in the class, but why are they doing this? Okay, they want to ascend. They have to bring us with them. We are somehow symbiotically or karmically connected, and also we keep destroying them. We've destroyed their habitat. They've had a Holocaust. They have had other Holocausts on the inner planes as well, when things that were akin to nuclear bombs were detonated by these overlords who wanted to rid the planet of these Fae and any of the related protector beings like dragons and so forth and so on. So what's happening now is more and more people are opening their sight, either with medicine or without medicine. They're realizing that this age-old wisdom about all these beings, the fairies, the dragons, and so forth, is real. Okay? And so this is what's happening now. Okay, so a lot of people are writing in. Kelly, calling me a Rishi. Thank you very much. Is that like a reishi mushroom? Okay. They are funny. Okay, we're going to have a good time because they are showing me their humor more and more and more. Okay, my friend Maura McCarley Torkelson, who's going to teach with me, when the two of us get together and we start going into it, it's hilarious. We start talking fairy. That's the other thing. It's this little kind of elfin language. And then they have their own particular type of humor, and it's great. And they were like, look, if you people understood how great the fairies were, you'd be all over us. Okay, we're all about humor, we're all about fun, we're all about pleasure, we're all about sex, etc. So they are inviting us to come along into their world, come along for the ride. They also have things to learn from us as well, believe it or not, which is why they're karmically connected to us, which is what they're telling me at the moment right now. So yeah, we have people writing in that their fairies speak directly through people. Absolutely. Okay, so this is serious stuff, but it's also funny. Okay, and it's lighthearted. That's what this is all about. So if anybody has any questions about the fairies, yeah, Jan Robinson, sex, woohoo, hello, Jan. Let's just say we've had conversations about your heritage in this regard, and true to your nature, this is your mission. This is what you're doing here. Okay. They do speak and sing song, Angela Hartnett. Yes, they do. They love it. They love rhyming. They are really funny. So if anybody has any questions, you can start posting them to me, and I will go in and see about transmitting a little bit about them right now. But I'm just going to pause to open up and see if there's any news that they have at the moment immediately. Well, they're saying that the earth was such an amazing Eden realm. And this is pre-Adam and Eve, they're saying. They're saying, fig leaf my ass. They didn't have to wear fig leaves. They were like romping around doing it. We were all having fun out there. And it was just, the types of plants were just amazing. And there have been different eras of the earth when there have been different kinds of plants. And depending on the dimension that you go into, like if you were in the Atlantean or the Lemurian dimension, there were different types of plants. In their world, there are different types of plants. Like if you go through the dimension and go into their world, there's a whole bunch of different plants. And they do connect in with our plants, but it's like Dr. Seuss. Oh my God. They're saying that guy was totally tapped in. And kids knew it, right? They unconsciously, they're like, he's rhyming all over the place. He has these beings. They're all the Fae. That's how they kept the Fae alive. Dr. Seuss. And then the Tinkerbell thing. It was a little, they managed to get it in, just a little message with Tinkerbell saying, I believe, I believe, I believe, because your connection with them is enhanced by your belief, which is a major tenet of any kind of shamanic work. Your ability to connect with a different dimension is a factor of your belief in that dimension. The more you can go there, the more you can see, and the more you develop a relationship with it. Just like your tarot cards, they're saying. The more you work with them, the more you develop a relationship, and you can go in there. The oracle world, the more you work with the oracle space, the more you can access it. And yes, Jaya is saying it's a bit traumatic for fairies to be born into religious fanatics for parents. And of course, what do? They totally go into families with religious fanatics. All right, they just cannot get enough of this, like, school of hard knocks. They're like, we're going to go into the worst families. There's going to be satanic ritual abuse. There's going to be everything, and we're just going to try to see what we can make happen. All right, they're very much, into that. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions. People are saying that the Fae speak in music and star language. Absolutely. And when Maura and I start speaking this language, we're like, whatever, We don't know what it means, but it doesn't matter, because really it's all about the syllables, and it's about what you're communicating through your intention when you start talking in this way. Okay. I'm going to go in again, but again, if you have questions, post them. I'm just going to go in and see what the fairies are saying. So in the UK, the fairies were very much connected with Avalon, that portal. That portal, it's one of the Shambhalas, so to speak, on planet Earth, regarding planet Earth. There's Avalon, there's Shambhala, there's Mount Olympus. There are all these different portal areas, right? So Avalon was a big one that more or less was kind of hovering in a different dimensional space over the British Isles. And the Fae were definitely connected with them. And there were the days when they all could see each other, is what they're saying. It was like living Lord of the Rings, okay? They all could see each other, and they were in alliances, marriage. There was also some warfare that started, whatnot, and so on. They were all trying to ally against these other forces that were coming in and trying to take over the Earth Eden plane. And it's multiple dimensions. There's third dimensional Earth, there's fifth dimensional Earth, which is kind of where they're in right now, and sixth, which is where they're moving into. There's seventh and eighth. Those are like Avalon and all these other places. So people are like, they go to the Himalayas and like, well, it looks like just a mountain to me. Hello, there's, a whole civilization there. People can see it. Sedona, it's the same thing. There's a whole a riotous civilization going on around those rocks and so forth that just look like nice, pretty rocks. So there's a lot going on interdimensionally. Okay, yeah, oftentimes shamanic illness initiations are to awaken you to your fairy bloodline. Yes, indeed. This is a kind of a shamanic initiation that can happen. So please feel free to post questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue to move in here. Anything related to green, they love, because green is a portal into their realm. It is related to what we know of as the heart chakra. So your earth was once all green. It was once all heart chakra. The overlords have been decimating and taking away the trees, the green, and all that to remove heart chakra energies, but they are encouraging us to connect back in and grow trees. That woman, Wangari Maathai, was growing all the trees. The greening of the planet is something that's very important now. And you know, they constantly tell me, oh my God, the Miracle Grow and the Roundup and all this and that. It's like plants and the flowers that they're putting in the flower industry that have no smell, no thorns, they don't even have Fae connected with them anymore. They don't have fairies. They're like AI. They're like genetically modified, engineered non-reality. Okay, they still have the DNA, but they don't have the fairy spirit connected. And this whole flower industry is pumping it out, right? All the Roundup and the Miracle Grow, it is not a miracle. It's a nightmare. It takes the Fae out of the plant. That's what they have been showing me. And I go through my yard, unfortunately, a certain set individual who will not remain named is using this stuff. And I'm like, there's really not a whole heck of a lot of the Fae in this yard because of that. All right. Now, okay, Mel, do they have anything to say about the opening the back of the heart chakra? They're saying back, front, up, down, sideways, anywhere at all. Open it, right? They're like, it's kind of how we have sex. In any position. So yes, Mel, you're right about that. You know, just open it. You can open it. You know how to do it. You don't need to ask for help. You just go and do that now, girl. Okay, you go. Get that ketamine and you go and do that. All right. Now, please speak about how we can work with the fairies when in the middle of a life-threatening health crisis. All righty, let's look. Well, they're saying it's time to dance. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what they're saying. They're saying it's time to dance when you have a life-threatening health crisis. They're like, oh my God, humans are so serious, you know. They're saying, you know, dancing would really help if you can. And if you can't, just move your fingers like this. Like if you're in the hospital bed, they're like, listen to music and just move your fingers like this. And call them in and just be dancing with them, or act like you're dancing, or go into a meditation that you're dancing. Part of this is a little bit of the whirling dervish thing. Like this is what they're showing me is that cyclonic activity is a little bit like the winds, which is what they will come in on. All right. So, wow, they're here big time. I'm glad I put the orchids in front of me. So they're saying with a life-threatening illness, do anything you can to like be fun, do things you love, eat things you like, listen to music that brings you joy. Anything like that is going to lift your vibration while you're ill. Okay. Oops, somebody's talking about fairy sex. Fairy story. Okay, somebody who went and saw fairies dancing around the statue of Francis of Assisi and Mother Mary. Yeah. And they were communicating with you. Well, you know, that's because you are a hybrid. We've discussed that. Okay. Jenny is saying, I'm making green juice and listening to you. Fairy magic. Absolutely. They're saying breathe the green and eat the green. Okay. Anything that has green in it that is of nature. And they showed me a while ago, whenever you go out and look outside and see green, breathe it in. Breathe in the green. This is the whole thing about the shamrocks and the green grasses and this and that. And at times, they're telling me right now, at times of year, when the green comes in, like which is in the northern hemisphere, we're going into it right now, the green, they're like, oh, this is major fairy time. And they're saying you can breathe it in. You can breathe in the fairies and start activating the fairies in your life by joining in with the spring energy. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. They are coming through to you now on the screen. Can you see it on your side? Oh my goodness. I don't know, is that my light? But but yes, I'm sure they are coming. Okay, they're pixelating because I tend to pixelate when this happens. Now, I don't know what the story is. Okay, I probably look like, you know, you're on LSD looking at me. Okay, it's not filming as pixelated, but when I go back, it might start, I might look at it to see pixelated. This is what happens when I get online with these things. They're just showing you the worlds, the veils between the worlds dissolving. So if you're seeing me pixelated, that's what's going on. They're trying to make a point. You're trying to make a point. Okay. So cat face. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to be on here a couple of more minutes. If there are other questions, please let me know. This post is going to go on my blog and on my e-zine, so many people are going to see it. I hope that people are going to get excited about this class and come join us. It's not very expensive, and it really is a rallying cry to worldwide fairies, worldwide fae, by whatever name you go. Come join us for this class. Your knowledge is precious. Your stories are precious. We need to put them together. We're reconstructing the great puzzle, and then we're going to have a better sense of what our mission is around all this and what we are meant to do. Okay, so how to support a 20-year-old niece who has seen fairies all her life.
Hello, have her take this class, for one, for starters, because, you need to get people together, all right? She needs her kin. She needs her fairy kin. She needs to go to places where they're going to understand her and not think she's a little crazy lunatic, all right? Number one. Number two, have a session with Marguerite. She'll set her straight immediately, figure out what's going on, and help her understand what a mission is.
Honestly, the other day I was with a young girl in the woods. We went into this whole fairy thing together. This young girl had memories big time, from the time of birth, and she was able to validate a lot of the information I was given, and then I was able to validate some of her material. We have to help and work with each other. We need kin. That's how your niece is going to be helped. All right. Jan, what's a good way to attract fairies if you live in an urban environment without much nature around? Get plants, get orchids, get anything in your house and start working with them. Call the fairies into them. Take care of them. Put shiny objects and fairy items around. Make each plant a little altar is what they're telling me to the fairies. Easy peasy. Simple. That's just one way you can do it. And then, of course, go out into the nature realm, wherever it is, wherever you see a tree in your neighborhood, even if it's like, a tree grows in Brooklyn, one little pathetic little tree. Oh my God, the poor thing. Give it offerings. Give it love. Tell it you see it. Tell it that, oh my God, I realize you're alone. The next tree is a mile away. I connect with you. I love you. And watch that tree grow. Okay, so any plant life in your urban area, give it offerings, communicate with it on a daily basis, then go out into the wilder areas and have your fun. Donna's asking, is it true if many hummingbirds are around you, it means a lot of fairies are around? I put a shiny object out in my patio and underneath a toadstool grew, just there of all places. Yes, hello. That is what's called a sign. Hello, Hollywood. Give me a sign. They're so funny. They're like, we'll give you signs, just test us, try it out, call us in, put an object there and see if a toadstool grows, right? Look for signs everywhere. Just start communicating with them through fun. Yes, hummingbirds, my God. Hummingbirds are creatures who are known to be between these worlds, right? Yes, play with them, invoke them, work with them. Fairies love earrings and jewelry to play with, right? Just like little children when they're in your arm. And yes, make offerings to your indoor plants. Absolutely. Those little rainbow marbly glass balls, yes, from, Michael's, whatever. They're either glass or they're the polished stones and they have flat bottoms. They love that stuff. Okay, what about dragonflies and how they are on the front lines for environment? Okay, dragonflies, big story here. Big story. So the dragonflies are connected with dragons. That's why their name has it in it. This was shamanically understood. They are unfortunately also connected with the reptilians because it's DNA from dragons and dragonflies that was used to create reptilians, which were then used to confuse all beings in the universe as to what was good and what was evil. And the reptilians, which they have their negative contingents, started doing all these horrendous things. And they loved it when people confused them with dragons, because then people started killing all the dragons, people, interdimensionals, whatever. So we need to sort this out. That's going to be a topic of the class, because the dragons have been given a bum rap, and they've been said to be evil and this and that. They are the earth protectors. Hello, they are intimately connected with the Fae, and they are human protectors. So then in come the reptilians, who were artificially created, and then they're causing confusion, and everyone's like, yeah, let's kill all the dragons, they're evil. Oh my God, this is a big sorting out process. Okay, I've been putting out the word on this for a long time. All right, so I've got some beautiful oracle priestesses showing up, Donnie and Deborah Green. I have been going live. This is all about the Fae and the Fairies. If you have questions about them, let me know. Since YouTube just came on, I'm going to stay on a few more minutes with this video, but I was showing everybody about my orchids that are growing because I'm talking to them now and sending them love. Holy cow. I mean, they used to just die. It was like an orchid would come in, it's like instant death. Just get the funeral going immediately. Like, why not kill it now? Put it out of its misery. I don't want to see a slow death, you know? Now they're thriving because I know I work with the fairy energies around them. Simply talk to them, love them, caress them. Be excited for them. You know, I talk to them every day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Look at another leaf. Oh, look at these buds. You know, they love it. That's the childlike aspect of it. They're not kids, but there's an energy of the child that they have that is like an ebullient innocence, and not an innocence that's ignorant, but an innocence that knows it all and yet is still full of fun, right? Okay, any information on the fairy roads locations? All right, well, this is a question I have never even looked at, but they're saying Hill of Tara. They're saying there's roads around there. Hill of Tara. There's lots of fairy roads over there, which is, of course, why they have like created highways and whatnot, and they were going to move or destroy the Hill of Tara. You know, the Hill of Tara, okay, what they're showing me right now is the Hill of Tara is a portal by which they come out. Okay? So there are portals by which these beings can come in and out. They will not just come in and out everywhere. They will come in and out of like consecrated areas that have been consecrated through a combination of Gaia and humans doing ritual there, setting up certain energies. Okay, this is totally new information to me. I have never done this before. I've never even looked at these topics. And here we go. Lots of pixelation. This is showing you that the fairies are in the world just beyond the veil. If you just could see it dissolving, you will see into the other world. So that's what pixelation is like. Yeah, okay, Angela, you get those screenshots. All right, more questions for the Fae, about the Fae, on behalf of the Fae. Again, I'm just going to stay on a few more minutes here. This is all news to me, some of these questions and some of these answers. So they're showing me, for some reason, Africa, South Africa, Zimbabwe. They're saying there's some major stuff there. I mean, it's everywhere. You know, it's everywhere. Okay. People can open fairy gateways. Yes, you can open fairy gateways. And okay, so Donnie is saying she saw orchids growing in their natural habitat in Borneo. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? These are otherworldly beings. My God, they're flowers. It's unreal. So I want to talk to you about the thing that I'm doing this Sunday also, that is a completely free event. It's called the Earth Healing Synchronized Ceremony. The priestesses of the dove, my dove oracle priestesses, and I, in my level 2 class, are going to be anchoring this ceremony where? Roy's Redwoods in California, various places in the US, various places in Ireland, one place in Canada, and then there's others. We put the call out, we're going to be doing a simple ceremony, gathering at 10:30, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, going to noon Pacific, at which time we're going to do 2 minutes of synchronized Om. So wherever you are, I'm going to put the link under this video also for that, for you to go to it, get all the details, whether you want to come to us in person or whether you want to do the ceremony on your own. What is this about? This is about helping to clear and amplify and empower the Earth grids, all this network and gridding around the planet for the positive, for the Fae, for our allies, for the dragons, and so forth, so that we can move the ship of planet Earth into a timeline that spirit workers are interested in, which is one of Eden, things thriving again, things falling away that we no longer want, releasing all of any overlording of planet Earth and so forth. You can see on the link that I'll provide that we're going to have a series of events that we're going to be doing during that hour. Very simple. We're going to Roy's Redwoods, go to a tree or a rock or any place really that is sacred to you or feels like a power spot. Do whatever ritual you think to help heal and clear the Earth grids, connect with our hearts all around the world, and then put into the grid what intentions and thoughts and prayers you would like for our future to bring us into a positive timeline. This or better for the greatest good of all. Okay? Japan seems to have high knowledge and acceptance. So do you think they have more connections than most lines? Well, their connection is stronger. That just means that somehow they've been able to preserve it better. But everyone once had this. Angela, are the Fae tall? Feel them tall and slender. They're all sizes, yes. They're not just little people. They're all different sizes, okay, is what they're showing me right now. Deborah, here in the Rocky Mountains, there are orchids. Yeah, amazing. Wild orchids and fairies. The Sidhe were tall and elven looking, translucent, angelic, like beings of the Celtic. Yes, you see, because there are so many different races, and this is what we're going to try to put together and sift out and sort out. Okay? Yeah, like the Lord of the Rings elves. So, first thing for Sunday, January 18th, this coming Sunday, please join in on the Earth Healing Synchronized Ceremony, either live in Woodacre, California with us in person or wherever you are. Again, I'm going to put the link for how you can get information on what we're doing to inspire you for your own brief and simple ceremony to align planet Earth into positive, healthy, fairy-filled timelines. And then the course, Awakening to our Fairy Kin. I'll also put the line there. We want to see as many of you as possible getting excited about this, coming together with us, co-creating, co-restoring the knowledge. All right? So it's been a delight being here today. I wish you many fairy blessings, and let's see if there's something coming in from the Fae realm. They're just saying, tinkly, 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 come and play with us, for we are wise. And we have much to teach you. We love you. And we know that many of you love us, and more of you would love us if you understood who we are. We ultimately are of the heart. And that is where you are going as a human species, if things go the way we all hope. Come into your hearts. Come into the green. Come into Eden. Blessed be everybody. See you again. I'll come on another time. Bye for now. Mwah. Say bye to the orchids. Say thank you. Thank you. Ciao.